Good afternoon, and greet you all who joined us today.
І медіа-центр України.
Olga Tamanov with you, and the media center Ukrinform continues its operations, and I would like to congratulate us all that Ukraine received candidacy to the membership of the EU, and now we will speak with Ivan Fedorov, head of mayor of Melitopol. Do you hear us? Hello. Yes, I do. Good afternoon. What is the situation right now in Melitopol from a standpoint of humanitarian? What are the difficulties that the residents of Melitopol are facing? Situation becomes worse and worse every day. That because Russia's occupant and collaborators try to put more and more pressure on people. Right now, more of the most topical issues is privatization issues, passports, and forming the enterprising activity. Russia is due to their propaganda. It's a separate weapon of Russia. They're trying to force our entrepreneurs to take Russian passports. And as arguments, they say that the senior citizens will not receive pensions if they unless they take Russian passports, and entrepreneurs will not be able to work unless they take Russian passports and register in some pseudo tax inspection. Ukraine pays all the retirement policies, all social payments, and budget payments. And regarding entrepreneurs, naturally, if there is registration in some structures of Russia or bank institutions of Russian Federation, that's indubitably will be violating the law of collaboration. But the situation is difficult. We'll have to wait on solving this issue on the state level. Difficult situation in medical institutions. To look at the situation of the last 4 months, they almost didn't touch our medical institutions. They were afraid. They were afraid because they need medicine to operate. They almost did not interfere with medical institutions' operation, but last week they appointed some occupant as a head of healthcare, and all the doctors on the occupied territory has to write that the applications that they want to resign from Ukrainian service and want to join Russia. And from all three structures in Melitopol, only one had doctor, only one that was to be retired in June. Only he agreed to write that application, and others refused. Massively, our doctors, our medics don't want to join the Russian structures. So Russians have problems with medicine as well. The main problems right now on the occupied territories is naturally, firstly, money, because almost 80% of people don't work and have no opportunity to get salaries. It's high cost of foodstuffs because they are 3 times more expensive than the foodstuffs that are sold on territory of Ukraine that are controlled by our government, and also security and safety. That massively they capture activists, priests from one priest was captured in the church during the service. So security situation is quite difficult. But our partisans started the hunting season today, posted announcements today that for the head of Gauleiter, they announced the premium for $10,000. And possibly Russians would even get rid of him for that money. We'll see the information that capturing and kidnapping of people spread systematic character. What information do you have on that matter? Roughly 500 people were kidnapped, and over a week they kidnapped priests, activists, and business people. Thank God the priest was released, but entrepreneurs are captured by Russians. Also, Russians, for over 2 months, they keep captured a 16-year-old kid that is not released from captivity. So kidnapping is one of the main actions that Russians do on temporary occupied territory. So they want to use fear and to get support from our Melitopol residents, but they don't succeed in this. Regarding children, we understand that they receive attestates from school diplomas. Do occupants force kids to receive diplomas from Russian format, so to speak? Russians, they try to open schools and universities on the university that are temporarily occupied. They don't succeed due to resistance of our employees, that teachers. After 2,700 institutions of education, and less than 300 people agreed to work. All the spheres, they use all the tools of Russians, the propaganda and threats to force kids to come to schools on the 1st of September in Melitopol. But there is no support from parents to send their kids to Russian schools. And to provide teachers, they, if I remember properly, in Novosibirsk, they make announcements for Novosibirsk Russian teachers to move to Melitopol and to teach children. Today, they cannot start launching schools. Regarding diplomas, according to Ukrainian legislation, our children will receive their Ukrainian diplomas. Also, they will receive special conditions on joining higher educational. And it's a difficult process, but there will be assistance to our children that are in occupied territory. Regarding Russians, they will do everything possible to start the educational process because they need that for Russian propaganda. Regarding the universities and colleges, they have captured all the universities and colleges in occupied territories of the Zaporizhia region. Berdyansk Pedagogical University, Melitopol Military University, Melitopol Pedagogical University. On the basis of all those universities, they created one, called it Melitopol State University, MGU, but the educational process was not renewed there. For how many locals stay in the town, how many residents stay in town, and can they leave to the territory that is controlled by Ukraine? Can they leave? We can say 3 weeks ago, when we had Ukrainian cell phones working. 3 weeks ago was about 70,000 residents. That's half of regular population of Melitopol. Today it's less because every day people leave. Right now there is an opportunity to leave. Just some criteria. First, it has to be good weather, because via ruined bridge, there is only on ground road they can drive, and they cannot drive there during rain. And money, it costs a lot, because Russia's on their roadblocks, they take money from civilians, from 300 to 3,000 hryvnia for letting them pass to Ukraine. There is such an opportunity, and each day people leave. Over 20-30 vehicles every day. You said that 500 people disappeared, were kidnapped by Russians. Do we possess information where those people are? What is their status? Where they're kept? About their well-being? There's no official information. We just have data from people who came back from captivity. Some were there for 3 hours, some for 2 months. Like head of Melitopol Council was captured for 2 months. After that, he was released. But we always don't know for sure where exactly the captives are located, because minimum there are 4 or 5 bases where they keep the captives, and to each captive has a different treatment. So it's a separate topic, and it's a separate kind of weapon they use, this kidnapping. and for different reasons they capture people. Some they take for political reasons. Some, like businessmen people, they capture for ransom. So it's all different stories, yes, but even they don't even tell the relatives where they can bring the items to or food to. Dear colleagues, you can ask questions now, please. One moment, please. Good day, Ukrinform. There are questions. What do you know about the yields? Is there understanding who will harvest the yield? And is there a place to store the yields? Firstly, from all elevators that are in occupied territory, the grain is removed. Every day there's guard convoy from Melitopol, 30 to 50 trucks, over 1,000 tons per day. Russians steal from Melitopol, the Melitopol district. They stole from mostly pretty much all the elevators. About the next yield, the next criteria, they say, from some they say they'll take 50% of the yield. From some, they will take 70% of the yields, and they name the price for which they can procure the yields. That's less than $80 per metric ton. It's clearly understandable that's less than prime cost, and only one person is authorized by Russians to have those negotiations. And only to them, the people are allowed to give that yields. And if they give the yields to anyone else, Russia is just confiscated illegally. So many just didn't seed it in the spring, and will just take the yields that were seeded in autumn. So the situation is very difficult. And when we see the situation directly with fruits, with cherries, with berries, with strawberries, we understand that everything they buy, it's lower than prime cost. The yields will be harvested by our farmers, but further on, it will just sold for peanuts. And in the autumn, the seeding is under threat, of course. Is there information about Ukrainian internet working in the city? It doesn't work to the full in the city for 2 weeks. Operations of internet via Russia's servers, via Russian pseudo internet. We advise residents use it only with VPN to have full access to networks, to messengers, so forth. Understand, is it possible to renew internet, or is it impossible? Renewal is possible, but first of all, our heroic armed forces have to deoccupy Melitopol. After that, shortly after that, we'll renew our internet operation.
There are a lot of people leaving every day. So I would like to know, where do they go mainly? To Zaporizhia or to Dnipro?
Thank you for the question. It's very topical because today we can say that any city that is temporarily occupied split into 3 parts. First part, it's located in the people just stay in occupation. Second part, people who leave outside of occupied territories into Ukraine. And third part, who go abroad directly. From Melitopol, mostly people go to Ukraine, but in different cities. And the criteria are different. Somebody has relatives in certain city, or have some friends, or found some shelter. For the most part, a lot of people just stay in Zaporizhia. Last week, our team opened a center to help occupied towns of Zaporizhia region, to where people can come and receive consultancy. And in figures, over a week, we processed over 1,000 of our residents with help from the occupied territory in the Zaporizhia region. To where they go, it's a different towns of Ukraine, different cities. We can say for sure that in the territory of Zaporizhia region, It's over 5,000 of Melitopol residents. Thank you, Ivan. It was Ivan Fedorov, mayor of Melitopol, and I thank you for joining us today. Dear friends, I would like to remind you that at 2:30, Alexander Motizanik, the Speaker of MOD, will join us, and we will speak about the situation on the front line. Please stay with us.